my rose-tinted dreams, wrinkled silk on my sheets. I don't see nobody but you. Boy, you got me hooked onto something. Who could say that they saw us coming? Tell me, do you feel that love? Spend a summer or a lifetime with me. Let me take you to the place where your dreams. Tell me, do you feel that love?
Please stop making brownies from a box. Let me show you how to make the best brownies you've ever had. These brownies are absolutely delicious. They're fudgy, they're chocolatey, they got that crisp little edge, if you want it, and you're gonna fall in love with them. I know I did, and so will you. So I'm begging you.
Let's make the easiest dessert ever. 3 ingredient Oreo fudge, 1 bag of white chocolate chips, 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Stir. Oreos. Chop. Microwave in 30-second increments. After 30 seconds, after 2 minutes. Golden Oreos. Oh my god. Wow. Pour into greased tray. Top with Oreos. Chill. Slice. And there you have the most easy, delicious Oreo fudge. So good.
Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this super simple chocolate dessert, and you don't even need an oven for it. First, into a pot, we're going to add in 2.5 cups of milk, about half a cup of sugar, about 1.5 teaspoons of agar-agar powder, and 1.5 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Then we want to give it a good mix, and on medium-low heat, we're going to heat it up for about 3 minutes. After about 3 minutes, we're going to take it off the heat and add in 4.5 ounces of dark chocolate. We're going to throw this back onto the stove and continue mixing, and once we see it start boiling, we're going to take it off the heat. Now we want to place this in any kind of mold that you might have. I'm using the silicone bread pan. We want to place this in the refrigerator until it fully sets. It should take about 1 to 2 hours. And there you have it, a super simple chocolate dessert.
Hey everyone, it's Ariana, and I think we can all agree that Tiana's beignets and the Princess and the Frog look so unbelievably good. Today we're making them at home, and they're just as good as they look. In a mixer, stir together 1.25 cups of warm milk plus 1.5 teaspoons of yeast, and let this bloom for a few minutes. Then add 1/3 cup of sugar and 1.5 cups of flour, and once that's all combined into a batter, you can add an egg, 2 tablespoons of butter, and an additional 2 cups of flour. Switch over to the dough hook and mix it for about 5 minutes on setting 2, and then about 2 minutes on setting 4. After your dough should be all smooth and fluffy, you can also do these steps by hand, but it's just a little bit of a workout. Cover your bowl with plastic and then set it into a warm place to rise for about 2 hours. Once your dough has doubled in size, punch it down using your fist and then roll it out to about 1/3 inch thickness. Cut out squares to the size you like, and then heat your oil over medium-high, adding your beignets in. You want to make sure that it's bubbling so that they'll fluff up right away. Make sure to keep an eye on them because they brown super quickly, and then I finish them off with a little drizzle of honey and a mound of powdered sugar. Check out the full recipe on my Instagram where I reply to all my followers' comments.
I almost don't want to put you onto this, but I will because this carrot cake recipe is actually incredible. To a large bowl, add 4 eggs, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of applesauce, 3/4 cup of olive oil, 1 cup of white sugar, and a generous splash of vanilla, and whisk that until combined. Then add 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, a pinch of kosher salt, and 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and mix that until just combined. Then add 2 to 3 cups of grated carrots and fold. Then you want to divide the batter between 2 parchment-lined 9-inch cake tins and bake them at 350 for around 35 minutes. Let them cool on a wire rack and make your cream cheese frosting. In the meantime, I'll post the recipe for mine soon. After the layers have cooled down, spread about 1/3 of the frosting between the 2 cakes and spread the rest over the top and sides. So yeah, that's it. The full recipe is up on my Instagram. I hope you try it and let me know what you think.
I have seen so many frozen banana dessert recipes, and I'm like, that's gonna taste like trash. It's just gonna taste like banana and be gooey and gross. I was wrong. It is so good, and you have to try it. It reminds me of like chocolate covered vanilla ice cream if you've had that. Who hasn't had that? You know what I'm talking about. You take your bananas, cut them into little coins as evenly as possible, put some peanut butter in the center. This will sweeten it up a bit, and then add some dark chocolate to a bowl. I love the taste of dark chocolate on them, and I also add honey to mine because it tastes amazing. I put it in the microwave for about 20 seconds, then dip my little bananas in there, and while they're still warm, I cover them in chia seeds, and it adds extra crunch, and they're so good.
May or may not have made my own birthday cake this year, but it's only because I learned that I can make my own dreams come true, and believe me when I say this chocolate fudge cake is dreamy. So you just start by mixing together sugar, coffee, olive oil, 1 egg and 1 egg yolk, and some buttermilk until it's all combined. Then for the dry ingredients, combine flour, Dutch processed cocoa powder, which gives it that super rich color and flavor, baking soda, baking powder, salt, and cornstarch. Add that to the wet ingredients, mix it up until it's pretty smooth, a few lumps are totally okay, and pour it into a parchment-lined baking tin and bake it at 350 for 25 minutes. Let it cool, and then I spread over a simple chocolate fudge frosting and topped it with figs, pistachios, and flaky salt, but sprinkles would be perfect too. And that's it. The full recipe for the cake and the frosting is up on my Instagram. I hope you try it.
You've been rolling and rushing and rolling up. Let her run it up. Break it down like a bunch. She would never last. She would never rap. That's the real on the real. Are you serious? How you feel? How you feel? Used to trip off that shit I was kicking to you. Had some fun on the round, I'll give it to you. But baby, don't get it twisted. Don't get it. You was just
If you're a fan of the Chronicles of Narnia, you might have wondered what Turkish delight tastes like and if it's really good enough to betray your whole family for. Start by adding 4 cups of granulated sugar to a pot, then pour in 1.5 cups of water, followed by 2 teaspoons of lemon juice and 1 teaspoon of lemon zest. Turn the heat on high and whisk the mixture until it comes up to a boil. Turn the heat down to medium-high and continue cooking until the temperature reads between 240 and 250 Fahrenheit. Remove from the heat, and in a larger pot, add 1 cup of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar, and 3 cups of water. Turn the heat to high and whisk frequently until the mixture comes to a boil, then lower the heat to medium-low and continue whisking until it thickens. Now you can start to add the sugar mixture gradually, making sure to whisk in between until all the sugar has been added. The mixture needs to cook on low heat for about 45 minutes, stirring frequently, and you're ready to add your flavoring. We went with vanilla, but rose water or orange are also popular choices. You can also add some red food coloring to get this lovely shade of pink. Pour the mixture into a greased and lined 8-inch baking dish, then chill overnight. The next day, strain powdered sugar and cornstarch through a sieve, then mix and sprinkle a small handful over the set sugar mixture. Remove from the pan, sprinkle the other side, and slice into bite-sized pieces. You're now ready to serve. No family betrayal required.
Let's make some blondies. They're basically chocolate chip cookies in brownie form, and they're so good. You gotta try them. Start by mixing a stick of butter with 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Don't spill it. Cream it together until it's light and fluffy, then add in 2 eggs and a bunch of vanilla. Add half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 cups of flour, and a pinch of salt. Then stir in a cup of chocolate chips. Pour it into a greased baking dish and try not to eat all the batter. Bake at 350 for 30 to 40 minutes. Can we just take a second to appreciate that crinkle top? There we have the best dessert ever. You gotta try this recipe.
Warning, if you make this cake, your friends and family will harass you for the rest of your life to make it for every single family gathering. So let's get into making my bomb tres leches cake. You're gonna take 1 yellow cake box mix, follow the directions, bake it, and then once it's done, you're gonna cut all the crust off. You can go ahead and snack on that. Poke holes through the entire cake, just like that. Then we're gonna take 1 can of evaporated milk, 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, and then we're gonna fill that can back up with any kind of regular milk, just like that. You're gonna shake it all up and then pour it all over the cake. All the milk, baby. And then we're gonna wrap it up and we're gonna throw it in the fridge for a couple hours at least. And then we're gonna take some heavy whipping cream. I did 3 spoonfuls of sugar. Do it to your liking, more or less, and then whip it on up. And once that's ready, throw it on the cake, spread it out. I cut up some strawberries, fire, and boom, that's it.
Cheers! 3 ingredient chewy rice balls, glutinous rice flour, sugar, water, knead until it forms into a ball. This is my grandma's secret tip. You're gonna take 2 pieces and we're gonna boil it for 1 minute. Add the pieces back in. This is gonna make your mochi super chewy, like this. A little bit of food coloring and half of the mixture. Roll it out, and we're gonna roll them into little balls. Simmer for 2 to 3 minutes or until it floats. Serve it on top of shaved ice. Drizzle on brown sugar syrup. Look at that.
Don't know what you're saying. You're flying higher than a plane, and I'm not complaining. It's getting too loud, we'll figure it out. I'm out of my brain.
I've been seeing videos for cinnamon pull-apart bread, and my family calls it monkey bread, so let's make some monkey bread today. You need to butter a bundt pan, put 1 cup of sugar and then 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in a bag. Mix that all up. to where it looks like that. Next, you're gonna take 2.5 cans of Grand's biscuits, pop them open. Is anyone else terrified of this part? Because I am. Cut them into fourths and put them in the bag. Get them all nice and coated. Next, put it in your butter pan to where it looks like this when it's all filled. Next, you're gonna take 2 sticks of butter, put it in a pan on the stove, 1/2 cup of that cinnamon sugar mixture, and then 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You're going to heat that up until it boils. Take it off. Once it boils, then you're going to pour it on top of your biscuits like this. Make sure to heat that oven up to 350. You're going to put it in for 30 minutes. Take it out, let it cool for 5 minutes, flip it over, and then it looks like this. So good, so easy to make. You got to try it.